Good morning, mathematicians. We are looking at this lesson 3 for unit 4. Today we've learned about partial products and how we can use that to multiply whole numbers. So today we are going to be finding 415 times 43, and we're going to find this specifically with partial products. So I am going to be beginning with multiplying this 4, which really represents 40. I'm going to multiply this 4 first by this 4 in the hundreds place. Well, I know that 4 times 4 is going to give me 16, but then I'm going to need 1 0, 2 zeros, 3 zeros. So I'm going to have 16 with 3 zeros. That's going to represent 16,000, right? So again, this is what I found to be true when I really took 40 times 400. So that was that particular partial product. Now I'm going to be taking my 4 times 10. Well, this 4 represents 40. This 1 represents 10. So 4 times 1 is 4, but then I'm going to have 1 0, 2 0. So here is my 2 zeros and then a 4. I have 400 when I find what 40 times 10 equals. The next number that I'm going to multiply by is I'm going to do my 40 times 5. So this is the answer that I find to be true when I take my 40 times 5. Well, 4 times 5 is 20, and then there'll be one additional 0 outside that basic fact, so that is going to be 200. Okay, I have finished multiplying this 4, which really was a 40. I have finished all the partial products of that part of my problem. Now I'm going to move on to my 3. Now this 3 is sitting in the ones place, and I'm going to be multiplying this 3 by the 4 in the 100, the 4 in the 10, or excuse me, the 1 in the 10, and the 5 in the ones place. So let's start with our 3 times 400. When I take 3 times 400, I have 12, and then I need to add 2 additional zeros. So here are those 2 zeros, and now I'm going to write in my 12. That is what I found to be true when I was taking 3 times 400. Now I'm going to be taking my 3 times this 1, which is really 3 times 10. Now 3 times 10 is 30. The last thing that I need to multiply my 3 by is this 5. 3 times 5 gives me an answer of 15, and there are no zeros outside that basic fact. Now I have to take all of those partial products and add them together, and as I have told my students so many times, make sure that you keep your work nice and aligned. You don't want to miss things simply because your work is sloppy and maybe you're adding together numbers that really have different place values. So if it helps you, just like I did, you could even add little columns to make sure you're adding the correct numbers together. Here I have a bunch of zeros and a 5, so my answer in the ones place is going to be 5. Now I have lots of zeros and then 3 plus 1, which is 4. Here I have 4 plus 2, which is 8. And over here in the thousands place, I have 6 plus 1, which is 7. And over here in the 10,000s place, I simply have a 1. 1, 2, 3, comma. My answer to this question is 17,845. And that finishes out this cool down for lesson 3.